This is the fan side facing us here, and we can see that we've got a metric 3 millimeter Allen screw in there. And what we're going to do is just loosen this, and it'll pretty much loosen all the way. And I've already loosened it, so you're going to have to do more than I've done it here. This is just for demonstration purposes. But once it's loose, the whole thing will come out. And notice that there should be a washer, a lock nut right there that sits down in a hex-shaped slot here in the shaft, and then the bolt itself. Now this may strip out because over time of adjusting these, that does happen from time to time. So as with anything we take apart, always put it down in the order it come off. So it'll be the first item there. All right, the next, once that's done, we talked about removing the fan. And usually, I don't know if you can see it or not, it's kind of dark in here. There's a shaft in here with a hole in it. And if you've got a set of pullers, bearing pullers, you can insert the center pin where it pivots here, and then you can attach, well, I say 180 degrees apart. They don't really have that because you got a slight angle here, but you should be able to get your puller jaws on the bottom side of these teeth here, kind of like this right here. So you'll have one on this side, one on the opposite side, and when you tighten down the puller, it should pull it off fairly easily. But once you pull that off, don't expect it to come off that easy. Again, I'll set it down, order it come off. Now we can see the actual brake. Here's the asbestos pad, and this is the item here that's probably given everybody so much fits. And you can see a little bit of surface rust. See how it's kind of got that red tint to it? What happens is, especially down here, is when you've got a high humidity area and you've got a set of 110 volt machines where you're not using them very frequently, and let's say it's a week or even 3 or 4 days in between rounds. If it's very humid like it is down in South Florida and Alabama and Georgia, you're going to have an issue here where you get a little bit of surface rust on the back side of this brake right here. In fact, you can kind of see the light pitting that's happened on the face of it. You see all that little speckled discoloration? That's what that is. And when that little bit of surface rust gets on there, it'll stick to the surface of this brake right here. And that's why when you go to turn the machine on, the fan don't do anything. And that's why I usually tell folks to come in there with a screwdriver and bump the fan like that. That will break the rust free from the face of this brake pad. I mean, excuse me, from the face of this iron fan and the brake pad here, and allow it to move. And that's probably what's causing all your circuit breakers to trip. But so we know for a fact this one's bad, so we're going to go ahead and continue to pull it off. So back to our plan here. Now I've already loosened the 3 screws here, and again they're going to use a metric Allen wrench. This one's a 4 millimeter, and once we've got all 3 of those loosened, this unit here will just come off. And I'm just going to kind of move it out of the way here for temporarily. I've already got the wire disconnected to it, and I'm going to just pull this unit out of the top of that strain relief and set it over here to the side. Always keep your fasteners, hardware, anything like that, because the next one you may have a problem with it getting it back on, and you may lose something. So I always hang on to the old stuff until you're through using it. You'll see on the back of these they've got some small keepers, like a little locking washer. I don't know if you can see it or not. Well, kinda. If it doesn't drop out of there again. There it is. See that little ridge right there around it? That's a locking washer. And those things are known to shear, break, or just come off when you're threading them in. So that may be something you end up having to rob off of this one to put on the new unit. So I'm just going to set it down for now. There's also some springs in here. You can probably just see it, but not really. Anyway, there's some springs in here that keeps this brake springy, keeps pressure against the fan. And if you get it too loose and when you're moving it around, you can drop them out of there. So just make sure that when you're going to put the new one on, that none of those springs have come loose, because you do need them. Now we can see the 3 holes where that unit mounts to. Now when you're putting it back on, you're going to want to set it in place and get 1 or 2 threads started in each one. Don't bear down and then do this one and that one. Just get a couple threads started and move on to the next one. Don't tighten it all the way, because if you do that, chances are you won't be able to get the other 2 started. You don't really have to take any of this off. This is the key, and this is the spring But if you're going to test the motor, you will, because when you turn it on, this starts spinning. It'll probably send this little key so far away you'll never be able to find it, and you'll say some bad words. So what we're going to do here is take, just like we always do, a pair of side cutters and come in here, grab hold, and we're going to just pry away from it just like that. Set that down, pull the spring off, set that down, just like that. Okay. We're also replacing the rectifier on this one, and I'll show you how those connections go and also how to test that and determine whether that unit's bad. That is what supplies the DC voltage to run this